In a not-so-distant reality where the world of science and genetics has surpassed the bounds of what we previously thought possible, we find ourselves in the midst of a societal fabric delicately woven around a new breed of humanoids, biotechnological marvels known as replicants. Following a tumultuous rebellion, these advanced beings are forbidden from setting foot on Earth, under penalty of death. The stage is set in the grimy, rain-soaked streets of Los Angeles, 2019. Rick Deckard, a former Blade Runner, is drawn out from the shadows of retirement when an escapee replicant critically injures his former colleague Holden. Facing no other choice, Deckard succumbs to the veiled threats of his old superior, Bryant, and agrees to step back into the murky world of the Blade Runners, their primary task, the retirement, or execution, of replicants. These particular escapees, though, are different. They're Nexus 6 replicants, the newest and most sophisticated model. The targets: Roy Batty, an imposing combat model; Leon Kowalski, adept in nuclear fuel loading; Zora, an assassin skilled in martial arts; and Pre, a seemingly innocent pleasure model. To complicate matters, Brian explains that these Nexus 6 replicants come with a 4-year lifespan, a safety measure to prevent them from developing human emotions and seeking their independence. Deckard, now partnered with Gaff, begins his mission at the Tyrell Corporation, the creators of these humanoid wonders, to confirm the effectiveness of the Voight-Kampff test, a psychological test designed to distinguish humans from replicants. However, the visit unearths a startling revelation: Rachel, Tyrell's naive assistant, is a replicant. Unbeknownst to her, she's been living with the memories of Tyrell's niece implanted in her, a groundbreaking feat that fills Tyrell with immense satisfaction. In pursuit of their quarry, Deckard and Gaff comb through Leon's apartment for any leads. Simultaneously, Roy and Leon trace their origins back to Chu, the eye designer, who directs them to JF Sebastian for a chance to meet their creator, Tyrell. As Roy and Leon seek answers, Deckard confronts the hard truth about Rachel's identity, causing her to leave his apartment in distress. Meanwhile, Pre, another replicant, encounters JF Sebastian, a man living in isolation amongst his mechanical companions. Deckard's search for clues takes him to Animoid Row, a marketplace for artificial creatures. Here, he discovers a scale in Leon's bathroom linked to a snake produced by Abdul Ben Hassan. Following a tense exchange with the snake dealer, Deckard traces his next target, Zora, to a seedy strip club owned by Taffy Lewis. In a tense encounter in the backstage and a breathless chase through the bustling streets, Deckard retires Zora, ending her artificially short life. Amidst the chase, Deckard learns from Bryant that Rachel has vanished from the Tyrell Corporation and must be retired, adding another layer to his already complex mission. Deckard spots Rachel in the throng and pursues her, only to be intercepted and nearly killed by Leon. In a twist of fate, Rachel intervenes, ending Leon and saving Deckard's life, sparking an unexpected intimacy between the two. Meanwhile, the landscape shifts back to Sebastian's apartment where Roy, the rogue combat model, reunites with Pre. They reveal to Sebastian the cruel twist of their engineered existence: a lifespan, but one that is tragically short. Sebastian, suffering from a genetic disorder that accelerates his aging, feels a kinship with the replicants, binding them in their shared mortality. Using Sebastian's ongoing chess game with Tyrell as a ruse, Roy manages to gain access to Tyrell's inner sanctum. Confronting his maker, Roy demands more life. Tyrell, despite his godlike status as a creator, is bound by the laws of nature and unable to fulfill Roy's desperate plea. When Roy confesses to deeds of a questionable nature, Tyrell dismisses his guilt, commending his design and achievements, urging him to celebrate his existence, however brief. In a fit of rage and despair, Roy kills Tyrell and Sebastian. Upon arriving at Sebastian's residence, Deckard is ambushed by Pre. In a pulse-racing showdown, Deckard manages to overpower and retire her. But the spectacle of her demise sends shockwaves through Roy, already grappling with the reality of his limited lifespan. Infuriated and desperate, he corrals Deckard within the confines of the dilapidated apartment complex, stalking him through its labyrinthine corridors and forcing him towards the roof. As the climax nears, Roy's body begins to give in, his right hand cramping in a poignant symbol of his engineered mortality. In a desperate bid to regain control, he drives a nail through his hand. Deckard, in a desperate bid to escape, attempts to leap to a neighboring building. He falls short, leaving him hanging precariously from a rain-slicked beam. With ease, Roy clears the gap that Deckard couldn't, standing above him, savoring the spectacle of his helpless prey. But as Deckard's grip slips, and he braces for the fall, Roy defies expectations. He catches Deckard, hauling him back onto the rooftop, choosing to save the man sent to end him. As his life force drains away, Roy, now seated, laments the transient nature of his existence. He speaks of wonders he's witnessed, sights beyond human imagination, all destined to vanish like tears in rain. As his final moments tick away, Roy finds a semblance of peace. In the aftermath of this duel, Deckard finds himself in silent contemplation. Gaff arrives, cryptically remarking on Rachel's impending fate, leading Deckard back to his apartment in a desperate search for her. Deckard returns home, filled with apprehension. He finds Rachel, still alive, igniting a wave of relief. As they prepare to leave, a small, seemingly insignificant object catches Deckard's eye: an origami unicorn, a trademark left by Gaff. Its meaning is left ambiguous, a silent statement on the nature of memory and identity, real or implanted. The film's finale is subject to the viewer's interpretation. The director's cut leaves them in the uncertain sanctuary of Deckard's apartment, while the original release drives them towards an idyllic, though potentially illusory, pastoral landscape.